Do I like the Promised Neverland so much? Well, I guess I have to start with one of my favorite aspects of stories: atmosphere. If you've been around me for a long time, you'll know that I can't stop talking about a story's atmosphere. Uh, it's really, how should I say this? It's really nice. It's my favorite part, of any story, especially my favorite stories. Um, it's, hmm, it's a feeling, but not the same thing as mood. It's a bit different. Um, it's like an airy feeling. But not. It's something when you think about the story and its content. It's really hard to describe, okay? But you know the atmosphere quickly when you feel it. Whether it's in books, or shows, or games, or any medium, really. It's always there. And I love that feeling so much. So, what's the Promised Neverland's atmosphere? I think it's my favorite kind, honestly. You just have to imagine yourself in it. A morning, misty day. You're out in the middle of a street, or a sidewalk. Some safe place. It's not dangerous. It's misty, and a fog is slow resting on the ground. Air surrounding you, all around you, and is covering you, shading everything. In a sort of misty haze. You outstretch your hand. You can just barely see it. You can see your hand. You can barely see it. You can barely make out the outlines of buildings in front of you as the mist surrounds you. And you're hit with this calm, yet excited, intrigued feeling. Intriguing. You feel cautious, but you want to step out to see what's in front of you, to know what's there. A mysterious feeling. It's the presence of an air of a mystery. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I hope that made some sort of sense. Anyways, hi. Who's this random person I'm listening to? That's probably what you're saying. Or maybe you're not saying that. Whatever. Well, hi. This is me. I'm Kupenda, a young multi-genre fiction author who loves rainy Tuesdays. If you've seen me on Bluesky, you've probably noticed that I seem to not be able to shut up about the Promised Neverland. Well, that's because I like it so much. But why? Well, that's the question we're here to answer today. So I've created a rough script. But this is the 16th time of me making this video. So we're gonna try it this way, where I just play some music in the background. This is Amori music, by the way. So yeah, you should really check out the game. It's really nice. Link will be in the description of any type of music that I use in this video. But while that's playing, I will roughly follow my outline. But I'll probably just be talking like this. I'm freestyling. It's just to keep me on track. Is this how people do YouTube videos? I don't really know. I think a lot of the times we can get caught up in the perfection of other people and how they do it. All the video essays and stuff. And, well, I am a writer, right? It's too much. I think it's, for me, my style of video is more, maybe it's something like this. Oh, we'll find out soon enough, eventually. But anyways, without further ado, I should probably start, right? You don't care about this. You care about why I like the Promised Neverland. So, here's why. I'm going to cover the anime, and season 1 of the anime, and manga. Light spoilers, by the way, but you probably knew that. There will be spoilers, but like I'll keep it minimum, so that I'll talk about my favorite aspects of the show and some certain scenes. But I think even if you listen through all this and what I'm about to say, you'll still be able to watch the show, you know, with the type of thing. I would recommend like maybe waiting like a month so that you forget what this video is, or maybe not. I don't think it really matters. Anyways, here's why I like the Promised Neverland, and blah blah blah. I can speak. Here's why we like the Promised Neverland. I like the Promised Neverland, and I'll start with atmosphere. I already said a bit about atmosphere already, so I won't belabor the topic, but I can't stress how important it was for me when I first watched the show. I mean, like, you have to understand, the atmosphere is the thing that kept me watching after the first, like, 5 seconds in the show. And that first scene, it gave it all. With, you know, the first scene with Emma, Norman, and Ray at the Gate of Gracefield, it was everything, you know, the music, the ambience, the voice acting, the presence. It gave that atmosphere I always dreamed of, always loved. That feeling of wanting to go a bit further, the mystery, the intrigue, the mistiness. I think I'm gonna call it misty atmosphere, the misty, hazy atmosphere, but I like misty better. The misty, watery, misty, almost hazy atmosphere. What? Misty, hazy atmosphere. I don't know. We'll think about it. But you know, it's the quiet calm, you know, it was so nice. Inspiring, even. That atmosphere, was everything to me. And I don't really think the show really dropped it. It changed the atmosphere into, like, you know, maybe a more warm feeling. Like, you know, in certain scenes when they're in the library, plotting or figuring out the lore of this world they inhabit. So it kind of switched to more of a warm atmosphere, but it was still that hazy, that misty, that mysterious atmosphere, the clue searching, the atmosphere finding, thinking that at any moment something could pop out at the last second, but it never does. That tension, that warm feeling, it was everything, you know. It was, you know, every time they would just talk about, you know, their own, like, searching it, it's like, oh, that man, like, I was in it, I was hooked. But I'll stop now, because I'll just keep rambling on. Yeah, I'll stop now, because I'll just keep rambling on, but I hope that made some sense. And, whoa! Man, we both made it. And the game rewards us for saying that we failed. Man, thanks. Of course, atmosphere can't do a lot to draw me in, but if nothing happens, it all fall flat, right? You know, you can have all the feelings and air of mystery you want, but if that mystery isn't, you know, mysterying, that mystery isn't mysterying. Mystery isn't mysterying? That's a tongue twister, if I'll say. If that it's not hitting, you know, it's not gonna do much, you know. So that's why plot is still important. I still think you can, even with something with a bad plot, the show can still be good, or the story can still be good. But I still think a good idea for a plot is everything. Which I think, you know, the plot and the setting, which I think is a good time to, you know, give some, you know, synopsis, for episode 1. Usually it'll be fine, so it's okay. So, anyways. I will, after this, be going into spoilers. For the Promised Neverland. But I assume you clicked on this video because you know what the Promised Neverland is. Could y'all stop? Guys! Oh my... Oh my... Hold on. Right, we're out of that mess. So essentially though, what was I talking about before I was rudely interrupted by every person on the planet? Right, plot. We start our series at Graceville Orphanage. All of these children live in Graceville with their mama. And in part, they live happily away, in bliss. Secluded from society. It's that society part, though. You see, they don't leave the compound of Gracefield at all. Outside is dangerous, of course, but they don't seem to mind. They all are one big happy family. And we get to see this as they get up and roughhouse a bit with each other and play and eat breakfast. It's the little things, though. When you'll see that there's branded numbers on each of their necks. And they do weirdly advanced testing of problems. Math and science and stuff. These questions that no, children should be doing, but they seem all smart. Which is, maybe a good thing, but it's eerie. It's done in such an eerie way. And then the fact that you realize they're all under 12 years old. All these things just keep piling up. And when they decide once to venture beyond their safety, beyond the gate, they find that horror awaits them. It's the twist of fate. Monstrous, demonic figures, demons are there, capturing the kids and eating them whole. And it hits you. This is no orphanage. It's a farm. The mom is the farmer. And the orphans, the kids, they're the produce. All to feed the wealthy demons their fill. Now the kids have to escape. But can they really escape with everyone? Or will they die trying? Now I'd say more, but I think it's clear that this plot hooked me from episode 1. And to be honest, I never looked back. You could say the setting is bare bones. You see, because the setting is just like the Gracefield house. So it's really only just one house, a forest, maybe the gate. But it's all a gated thing. So it's really just a circle. A house and grass and forest. So that kind of may seem bare bones. But I actually think this is genius design. Having the setting be so simple really shifts the focus away from, the setting around. It shifts the focus away from the setting and more on the more important aspects of the story. The central conflict, the lore building. We may want to know what things look like, have an interesting, more intriguing setting for the psychological ride, but muting the setting in favor of coloring the conflict, theme, and characters, every single other aspect of it, which I think is the story's, forte. It's to the story's benefit, since that's where it shines the most. Besides, they can get creative with the small settings. I don't think, small settings is necessarily bad. Having the library, they make use of it. And, with a small setting, you have to, right? So they have different aspects. The library, the dining space, hallways, all at different times of the day. Oh, I think the library is always at night, but we'll see. Different parts of the outside and forest, etc. Small settings aren't necessarily bad, especially if you can get creative with it. So, with the shifting of focus away from the setting, more focus is put on arguably the Promised Neverland's strongest feature. It's conflict. Specifically, internally. Yeah, internal conflict is probably some of my favorite conflicts in any, story. Because it really, you get to really, see what the character's all about. And, you know, character writing is at its finest in internal conflict, I at least in my opinion. You really, I always like to think here about the characters' thoughts. Characters, you know, are my favorite aspects of stories. And getting to see that, you know, getting to see that in an internal view, hearing their thoughts and their troubles and worries, you know, is really nice. Well, I mean, this in a, you know, in a way that, like, you know, it makes you feel with the characters. It's not nice what they're going through, because, you know, they have to deal with a lot of things. The children who know the secret now come to grips with their own mortality. The fact that any wrong move could send them and their loved ones straight into the mouths of ravenous demons. The fact that, you know, maybe you should not think about escaping with everyone. Maybe be more concerned about yourself rather than the lives of your family members. The show, and that would be the internal conflict. No, can't I just... Should I just... I shouldn't, right? I should. What? Oh my goodness. And also, you have to come to grips that your whole life was a lie. Especially Norman. You know? Norman, that last one with Norman, he was really feeling it with it. Especially in the manga. I don't really remember if the anime did a lot of it, but I know the manga did a lot with Norman. Especially, at least in the beginning chapters. The thing is, like, Norman has this, like, dynamic with Isabella, where he just feels so betrayed by the mom, Isabella. The mother's name is Isabella, by the way. And at least I think it is, right? I'm not like delusional, right? Isabella TPM. I'm correct. Okay, I'm not going crazy. Okay, I know my things. I'm about to be called a fake fan. Anyways, so, you know, what was I talking about again? Hold on, I have a script for a reason. Let's see. He cannot understand why she would... Yeah, so, Norman basically couldn't really understand why Isabella was working with the demons. You know, carting the children off. Carting the children she cared for since their birth to their deaths. All with a smile. No expressionless. All in feeling. Not expressionless. She just never seemed to bat an eye. She kept up that... You know, that pretending all that time. But to Norman, it made no sense. His distrust, this betrayal. He seemed to almost have a harder time than Emma did. At least in the manga. And it's conflict like that internal conflict, that he had to wrestle in with himself that, like, this person's not an enemy. This person is... But he has to wrestle with himself the image of Isabella as... the loving mother, and then Isabella, the enemy. And it's, you know, it's conflict like that, you know, it's really, I think, is the strength of this show. The refusal of, like, you know, of understanding. He almost, like, doesn't want to understand. He can't understand. The incapability of wrapping your head around all these psychological pressures. It's this that the Promised Neverland excels at. At least in my opinion. And another reason why I love it so much. Oh, what they saw. And now they're in mortal danger because of what they saw. In fact, and coupled to the fact that the mother knows that two of the children knows that they know because they made a mistake. And coupled to that, that internal conflict of having to like come to grips with your own mortality, the fact that all your life was a lie, and that the people you love you can't trust. That type of internal conflict, like, really drove the series a lot of the time, because some scenes would just be that. Them having to come to grips with not only that, but knowing that their entire family that they know that has left the orphanage all thought that they would be in loving homes and families, but they're not. They're dead. So, I think that internal conflict, if it was just them, you know, the plot carrying it for. Is someone mowing outside? Whee! I hit my microphone. Yeah. Fifth. With most of the conflict in the show being internal, there really isn't much more room for action. I mean, there is action, you know. So, like, that action, especially with Sister Crone, another mother figure, you know, mom adoption, you know, thing in the story, and with the ending of season 1. And there are other action scenes dotted bits around, especially when they play tag. But it's pretty bare. However, most of the action fights in quotes. Yeah, most of the action and fights comes in the form of deception, tension of outwitting your opponent. The children have to face many obstacles, not only in Isabella, their mom, but also Sister Crone later. A traitor amongst them, the children. Yeah, there's a traitor, by the way. And the graceful compound itself. Yeah, they have to fight all of them, right? And the thing is, like, and I think the biggest thing is the graceful compound itself, because the demons basically, like, or, like, I don't know, did the demons build it? I forget. Well, so the graceful was built to contain the children. So they kind of, like, a lot of the story is not only just having to outwit the mom, Isabella, and figure out, like, oh, is there a traitor? Is there someone working with mom, with Isabella, etc. And, you know, it's that, but it's the graceful compound itself. Literally, the building that they live in is built to trap them, and they have to fight the structure that they live in themselves to get out, to escape. I think that's really cool. That dynamic of, like, you have to literally fight an inanimate object. Like a maze. Yeah, it is like a maze. You're, like, fighting a maze. You have to try to get out of it. You have to figure out how to, you know, like, survive. Something like that. You know, but with the actual human characters, it's more like, how should I say this? It's more like you have to outwit your opponent, like psychological tactics. Sort of like, you know, other animes that are like you know, have those types of things. But this is, you know, it's really fun to see, like, the children try to outwit the literal adults that are trying to keep them contained. I think, like, one of the action scenes that really sold me on this type of, you know, action, is when they had to figure out who the traitor was amongst the children. I won't spoil how it's done, but it was done in such a way that it was so surprising, and you didn't know really what happened, and, like, everything was going fine until, like, one of the characters said one thing, and it, like, blew you away, and you were, like, shook. And I think the episode ended there too, so it was really cool how it was done. I really liked how it was doing. I can't imagine the people who were watching that when it was being simulcasted with episodes weekly. Man, that would have been painful. But, you know, that's the pain we authors like to do with us. Oh no. But yeah, Essentially, what am I talking about? It? Yeah, basically the trader scene. So they had to figure out who it was, and that was really cool. So, it was just really the impact, and it had my heart racing. Ugh, it was so good. So yeah, those types of action scenes, in quotes, it's action, but really it's not action. It's more psychological pressures that gives sense of suspense and action to the story a lot of times. Uh, but, you know, maybe you can call it something else. Other than because action, maybe because, you know, it just goes to show you that action isn't always, you know, having to be fast-paced in movement. Or, you know, maybe these just isn't called an action scene. I don't know, whatever. I call it an action, so there. uh, anyways, characters. Nice transition, am I right? Anyways, I think the best part of any story is the characters, as I said before. And the Promised Neverland has some really great ones. It seems all the characters have time to shine. We have the two smartest characters in the show, or at least some of the two smartest characters in the show. Some of them. We have Norman and Ray. Ray is the emo kid who people like to compare to Sasuke. In that respect, I guess it's a comparison. He is more cutthroat and direct, straight to the point, and a realist. You know, he's really there to survive, choosing the best options for that goal. He's a tactician. I think that's what the show paints him as. Able to, you know, come up with schemes and plans to suit his needs. He can come off cold, and yeah, he is cold. But as the story develops, you really find out that he really does care for his friends and eventually all of his family too. Fifth? Was that who I think it was? It's Kara from Kara Undertale. Did I ever tell you that I like Undertale too? It's also a thing I like. I'll probably talk about it later. But not now. We're talking about the Promised Neverland now. So anyways. It's really heartwarming to see, you know, that Ray open up like that. As, you know, not just, you know, the emo kid. Because I think a lot of the times we can say, oh, emo kids are bad. But, you know, I think that's because when people write emo, or, like, you know, dark or gritty, or, like, what's the other word besides emo? I don't know. I forget. But essentially, when we write those types of characters, I think it's more that the problem with those types of characters is that they're only that, and they're not really given any other depth to their character. So it can really seem annoying. But it's really heartwarming to, you know, see that change and that depth to his character. Norman is also really smart, but more out-of-the-box type thinking, in comparison to Ray. He's also really caring and more warm than cold-hearted Ray. But he also understands the same type of reality that Ray does, and he kind of has to hide that part sometimes. But he will understand it as true. He cares, though, as I said with Isabella, because that thing really affected him. So he's very susceptible to outside influences and feelings like that. But he's also very self-sacrificing. So is Ray, too. They both play off each other's strengths as well. Other characters also get... Sorry, I like this song so much. You know, I think it's like... Don't worry, I'll talk about Amori soon. Goodness. I think this is also when I talk about atmosphere too. Music really does it well. But it's also just like the setting. Because this music isn't only hitting because of, you know, why I like it, but because of the memories it evokes. Yeesh, anyway, we're past that. Anyways. More characters can shine too, as well. Like Dawn and, Gilda. Those are two characters as well, with more, let's see, with a nice character dynamic. Dawn is more like brash and headfirst, and Gilda is more like a calm and collected. But she does nag on Dawn a lot when he's being way too rowdy. Their character dynamic is really cute to see. They're not main characters, so you think they'd be a bit more sidelined, but that's not the case. They have their own time to shine when both of them feel like the main trio. Yeah, they have their own time to shine. So like, because they have this one time when both of them feel like the main trio is like hiding something from them. So they decide to do their own little investigation and infiltrate one of Isabella's secret places in the house. It's really tense-filled and stuff. And they actually succeed, and they find like information that'll help them later on. I won't spoil how they do it, but they really do it, and I think it's really expertly done how they do it too. Yay! No, Kara beat me. Anyways, but when side characters get times like this to shine in stories, I think it really is a mark of a good story. Because, it means, at least, it means that it's not just focused on, 2 or 3 people. Focused on a lot of them. All of them. That just makes the story better, don't you think? At least to me. The antagonists too, Cicerone and Isabella, also have their own motivations, mostly because, yeah, as I said, they want to survive. Which again is a tension between Norman and Isabella, which, questions. A lot of the question in the beginning is like, why does Isabella willingly sacrifice the children she cares for to the demons? And early on, it really is seeming that it's because, really, she just wants to survive. But it's also a bit different. It's also more than that later on when we find out that, why she does what she does. And I think the story does paint it in a way that you understand. She's still evil for what she's doing. I don't like her. But I can understand, at least, why she's doing it, even though it's wrong. It's a kind of evil that is a bit different from the demons, even though it's still all evil. There are more characters. Like, 2... maybe I should pull up, because I'm not remembering these people's names. I should have probably searched them up. TPM character list. Let's see. I need names. Guys, give me names. Thank you. Let's see. Oh yeah, those were the people. Oh yeah, they really all do have names. That's funny. Give me stop. Alright. So yeah, we have like Anna and Nat. I don't think they talk too much, but I do like their designs, and they do have small character interactions that are nice as well. Is that how you say it? Toma and Lanyon also are like the twins. I don't think they're actually blood related, but they also are really fun to see when they're there. They all have nice and striking designs. I know all of these people. It's just I don't remember their names a lot. It's been a while since I visited the series again. But, you know, it's that. Again, there's like a lot of children that are there. So they can't say, they can't like, you know, make it for everyone. They can't like, you know, give everyone stuff. But when it's, you know, they do it enough that it makes it feel that everybody is real. You know? So, it's nice. Oh my oh my goodness. I almost forgot. Phil. Our king, Phil, of course. Precious Phil. Among the youngest, I think he's around 4. He's really smart at his young age. I think there was like a theory that he was like a mastermind and that he was trying to help like all of them to escape. I don't know if that like turned out to be true, but you know, I'm not mad if it didn't, because I liked it either way. Because, you know, all the characters, you know, they have this energy to them, you know, the want to survive, and it's that drive that I really like about all of them, because they all inhabit that, and it's really nice to see. There's a point in the story where they start to distrust. Ooh, that was nice. 5th, which I think a lot of anime can, again, forget about their characters. Oh, I hate this map. It's so annoying. You gotta be kidding me. How are you supposed to do that? Because again, with like 16 children, I don't think that's possible. But with what they did with them, I'm very happy. Interesting. Yo! Oh my goodness. Yeah. That was kind of cool. All have, I win! Different characters interacting with each other. 3rd. What game next? Yeah, absolutely not. Don't send me back! So, yeah, I think Farm Hunt is a good game. I think it's very fitting. I guess this moves us on to theming. With the Promised Neverland's 2 major themes, family and freedom. So obviously in family, the sense of an orphanage. But it's more than that. It's the fact that their family, despite them not being blood related, this is a constant fact that like is said over and over, that they're orphans. They're not blood related, and yet they are family. So it kind of does ask the question, like, what is true family? And does it necessarily have to be blood relations? Or is family something else altogether? You know? In that type of realm and aspect. In freedom, in the realm of freedom, they have to escape to attain it. Let's see here. To escape the death. Yeah, to escape death at the hands of the demons, but it's also a bit different. It's also a different question, too. Because we find out later on that Isabella is... One of the ways that Isabella is justifying this approach to her surviving, you know, carting people off, is that she's allowing the children to live in peace and harmony until their final day is up. This is a freedom that she is giving them. But the children, you know, they hear that and they reject it because they don't. They would rather live in a reality and die trying to survive rather than living a lie. To them, that's true freedom. It's these themes, you know? And it really does ask the question, what is true freedom? Is that a freedom that they really want? And, you know, I really do like that, because it really does show, like, you know, it does ask that question, and the way the show handles that question and answers it is really nice. But we shall continue on. I think it would be obvious that this, you know, one of the two of the most central themes are both family and freedom. And I'm the last animal alive. Yeah, I'm not even gonna move, because if I move, every hunter's gonna get me, so I think, yeah, this is it. This is it. Guys, I think, guys! Oh my! But obviously, the children don't see it that way, and the children don't want that. No! No, I refuse! 13! No, I refuse! I refuse! I refuse! I refuse! Don't! Nah! No! No! It's these themes, you know, and how the show handles them. I really do like it, though. And with these themes, no other character displays these themes better than Emma. So you may all have been shouting at your screens when I was describing the characters, of all of the characters that I was describing before, because I was like, you left out Emma. Well, yeah, I did, obviously, because I was saving the best for last. Emma, she's my favorite character in the show, and probably of all fiction too. I don't really know. There's just something about her, you know? The way she acts, the way she smiles, the way her resolve, you know, it just shows, and she puts it above all else. You know, I think there was this one scene that, in particular early on, really cemented my love for, you know, this character. See, Norman and Emma were like, you know, after like talking amongst themselves, after knowing the secret of the Gracefield, they decided to tell Ray Gracefield's secret, you know, about the demons. But Norman suggests that, like, you know, he talked to Ray alone. But it turns out Ray was actually listening to them eavesdropping on their entire conversation. So he just says, you know, tell me now. So they tell him, and he's like, oh my goodness. Alright, so he's like, he understands this, so he has to, all of them have to, you know, make preparations to escape. You know, maybe they would take a couple more people, but the three of them must escape. And Emma, hearing this, immediately says, yeah, and we're taking all of her family with us. And Ray then understands why Norman wanted to talk to him alone, because it seems Norman was, you know, hiding something from Emma, that, you know, it was really, really, actually probably impossible for all of them to escape. All the children of Gracefield to escape. The outside world, you know, might not exist for humans. It could be a world full of demons, so taking more people would severely hinder their chances of survival. And Emma, you know, hearing this, you know, takes this as well as you'd expect. Understanding this, you know, she kind of like sulks a bit. She nods and says she understands. And she's taking everyone anyways! And this shocks Ray to his core as Emma just says this with a straight face after hearing this depressing news. And Norma just has to laugh. It goes so far as Emma is literally jumping upon Ray, telling him to bend over for them this time, and help her and Norman escape with everyone. Ray pulls Norman aside to ask him to knock some sense into her, and then Norman still can't stop laughing, but then he really reveals something that, some introspection that we might not have realized. Tell something, so chilling. Back when they found out the secret, Norman and Emma, they were really scared. And Emma was crying too. Norman was scared because he was afraid of dying. But Emma was scared because she was afraid of her family dying. It's this distinction that he makes that is so striking. That it was her first thought. Not of herself, but of her family. That love. I said both Norman and Ray were self-sacrificing, but, maybe it's only because they were inspired by Emma herself. She literally could not care about her own well-being before thinking of her family first. Because she loves her family. She says it herself. They all look different. They are different from each other. They're not blood related. But they're all family. And she loves them so much. It's this love for your family that pushes her to overcome so many obstacles, so many defeats, and so many tragedies, to come out still smiling. She is one source of hope for this story. Yeah, and that's another theme right there. Hope. She embodies it, She gives it off. She radiates it, almost. This hope that everyone can survive. That, yes, she can do it. They can do it. They can escape with everyone. That all her family can survive. She doesn't want anyone else of her family to die. And she will do whatever it takes to make sure that they're all safe. It's truly inspiring. And the words I say will never do it justice. But she's truly amazing. Makes it very enjoyable to watch. It's like Gracefield in the Barns. Let me out! Let me out! Arcade machines. Oh, what's this? Oh yeah, they have Snake. There's one last thing I'd like to talk about. It's an aspect of characters. Something characters do. That whenever it happens, I freeze in place. My heart stops. I pause in awe and breathe very softly as I take in that expression. It's one of my favorite things in stories, a thing I'd like to share, and it's something I'd like to call the stare. Yeah, it's a blank emotionless smile or stare that the character does in high emotion situations. When you see it, kind of like the atmosphere I was talking about before. And anime is filled with all these moments, both anime and manga, such as the Promised Neverland. You can't go one panel or 1 second without someone giving the meanest mug imaginable. It gets quite amusing sometimes, because they do it all the time. I think modern day we call it aura, but I like calling it the stare. It's not exactly the pose, it's all in the face, the mouth, the eyes. And no one does it better in the series, in The Promised Neverland, at least in my opinion. And then Emma. Now, I could explain it more, but I don't know. I think you've been hearing my gameplay commentary throughout this video, and I think it does it pretty good. So, I think I'll let that commentary take the reins this time. You're gonna stay here. You're leaving in the darkness. Everything. It gives energy. That energy that you feel when the character just like looks at you and their pupils do this thing where they go really small, and it's just like it gives you such main character energy. But like it gives you such like, I'm so done with whatever you're saying right now. And it gives like, it feels so nice to just like see that and to like know that, yeah, I mean business or something. Like, I don't know, I can't describe it, but there's a lot of it in The Promised Neverland, to the fact that like almost every character does it. But there's this moment where like, again, it seems that Emma has given up on everything. Oh my goodness, acid rain. And it seems that Emma has given up on everything, and it seems like, oh no, she's going to accept her fate and die, right? But then but then Ray like asks her, but you haven't really given up, have you? And she just looks at Ray and gives him the coldest stare, the coldest look I have ever, the coldest look, the coldest eyes, and the coldest smile I have ever seen in anime, period. I don't know how to describe it. It's like and then the anime episode just ends there. I think the manga does too. Like you do that to us, and it's like, I can't believe you did that, but you did, and like I can't even like hold you to it. That's like, that you did that well. And I think it's just that mix of like animosity, but like, you know, just like confidence, and just also purge. What is purge? Dragons. That mix of animosity and stuff. I don't like this. That mix of, can we not? Don't hit me. That mix of like, you know, I'm gonna stay here. That mix of animosity, but that confidence in their eyes, and that mix of like determination. It is determination. It really comes back to Undertale, doesn't it? But that mix of determination in the character's voice, it gives such energy. It gives such energy. It's so good. And it just, what now? Flood? Blackout. How is anyone surviving this? I guess that's how. Oh. But I think it's that, basically that determination that it just gives you such energy when, you know, when you see it. Or that's Hinata and Haikyuu going up against that, like the best shooter. That time where he just catches the ball and gives him the meanest stare. That was so hype. It was so, you know, it's the hypest thing ever. Or whether it's like literally any scene with Sasuke Uchiha. But Emma does it in this way where it's just like, it's so main character energy. Like, you understand why she's the main character with that one stare. So yeah. And it just filled with all of that, and it's like all of them do it, and especially the manga. The manga has everyone doing it. I'm sorry, is that Mama? It's bad. I think we had a moment. I think we had a moment where it's like it's Mau from Apothecary Diaries. I'm currently watching it. It's really good. Maybe I'll talk about that too. At the moment, I think I'm actually going to die. But you know, that's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna give you the meanest stare ever. You didn't think that it was gonna be that easy, right? You didn't. Oh no. I'm having way too much fun here. I can't believe I'm so alive. Wait, this is genius. I'll just be in water. Ahahaha. They thought, but nah, I outmaneuvered them. I have the wait, no, wait, please. I need this. Ah! Woo! Gold boost, what does this do? Armor? Is that just it? Okay, more water. Good. One. Yo! We did it. Anyways, I think I'll end it here. I could keep going on and on and on and on and on and on about what else I like about the show, but I'd probably be going into even more spoilers than I want to, and honestly, at that point, you should just watch it yourself. And honestly, this won't be the last time, and also, this won't be the last time I'm gonna mention it on this channel, so, yeah. Go watch it! The Promised Neverland, obviously. Go watch The Promised Neverland Season 1. It's pretty good. Oh, and read the manga, too. All of it. You know, I like it a lot. Oh, and if you haven't already, make sure to check out my last video, Part 1 of Alive Life, the audiobook. A dreamlike morning, a dreamlike day. It took like 12 plus hours to make, so I hope you enjoy it. You know, and if you have seen it, make sure to comment your thoughts. It's not only fun, but it also really helps the video out too. And I'd love to hear what you have to say. Part 1 is the happiest part of a generally very emotional book. So after this, it all goes downhill from here. And judging how it ended, I think you can get where it's heading. If you liked anything I said in this video, though, then I'm sure you'll find enjoyment out of Alive Life too. They're different things, but I took a lot of inspiration from the one to the other, and the other to the one, and blah blah blah. And a lot of what I liked here, I also put in my book as well. So if you like psychological thrillers, mysteries with a lot of themes, literary fiction, and a lot of lore to find, then you'll definitely like Alive Life. Anyways, that's all from me. I'm signing out now. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye bye! Oh, by the way, I'm a YouTuber now, so I'm supposed to say like, comment, and subscribe. So subscribe. Alright? You better subscribe. You better subscribe. Or else. Bye!